Hello, hello. Welcome back to Firestorm Freerunning and Acrobatics for our series Firestorm at Home. My name is Coach Summer. Coach Freelove is manning the camera behind me, and you are at our living room. And we are in your living room, backyard, kitchen, wherever we're at, wherever you're staying mobile with us. We want to thank you guys for staying tuned. And thank you also to Coach David and to Coach Justin for filling in for Coach Freelove yesterday, as we are all athletes and we're surprisingly not even training to our full extent. We still get injured, so Coach Freelove is recovering from something in his back, so we wish him a very speedy recovery and that he may join us for our Little Heroes in Parkour tomorrow. What you guys will be needing today is a softball. That's actually what I'm using. You can also if you also have a golf ball or a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, something small. You don't really want a soccer ball or a basketball. So if you have any of those, we will be using this later. We are going to be focusing on our lower extremities, like our feet, our ankles, our calves, all of those things that we put so much of our body weight on and that is carrying us day by day. We don't really take care of it as much as we do. Yes, Midna, hello. We are going to be taking care of that today. And then you will also be needing either a wall or a door frame. We're not going to really be needing a bunch of space, just a place where our foot can rest on it. So that means it's a wall that has picture frames and stuff on it, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you don't break anything and that you're not leaving fingerprints everywhere. I would hate to be the cause of fingerprints on a nice wall. But it is AcroFlex number 24, and we are going to get started with mobility. I don't really need a yoga mat since I have carpeted floors, but if you guys are on hardwood or anything like that, probably would use a yoga mat, or if you're outside, I'd probably use something just so our hands don't get covered in sand or anything like that. But we are going to put the softball to the side, and we are going to start off with our mobility. So I'm going to stand with my feet just a little bit wider than hip distance. I'm just going to stand right here, pushing my shoulders down and breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Coach Freelove's eating, so Midna is going wild back there. Our apologies. And chin falling to chest. We're going to roll out our neck in one direction. Remember to breathe through this as well. We're going to do 2 more of these. And on your last one, once your chin reaches your chest, is when you switch to the opposite direction. Ooh. Even though we are focusing on our lower extremities, we are doing a full body mobility stretch just to get blood flowing, get everything starting to move. All right, once your chin reaches your chest, you're going to rise your head and you're going to rotate your shoulders backwards. And forwards. And right arm across your chest. And thumb rotate down. And other arm across your chest. And rotate that thumb down. And that right arm's going to shoot straight up into the ceiling and bending at the elbow, trying to reach for your low back. You can use your left arm on your elbow to give you some extra push towards that hand. Make sure again that your chin and your chest are not touching. And open it wide. side, opposite arm, so my left arm's coming up, bending at the elbow. Right hand's going to be on that elbow. And opening up. And I'm going to step a little bit wider than my hip distance, a lot wider than my shoulders as well. I'm going to do my up and over, so my left hand's going to be on top. My right arm's going to come to my right leg as support, and I'm reaching through a side stretch, looking through my armpit. And using that top hand to come up and opposite side, left hand, left leg connect. Right arm is on top, looking through that armpit. And using that top arm to come up. And we are going to do a flat back straight forward. I'm going to turn to a profile view. Sorry, I'm wearing a jacket and standing underneath the fan. It's freezing. I am going to bend and hinge at my hips. And I'm going to have a flat back. So imagine having a plate of food on your back, and that your cat's trying to get it, and want to make it as flat as possible. For my more advanced or intermediate who want to challenge themselves, have your arms directly out in front of you. Remember to breathe. And deep breath in. Exhale all the way down. Alright, beautiful. If you're already touching the ground, try and flip your hands over to give yourself a little bit of a wrist stretch so your palms are facing up. For those who are still trying to reach the floor, see how you are. Warm up those hips. If you need to give a little sway side to side, that is totally okay as well. And we're going to bend those knees forward into our first squat of many. Woo. And we're just going to sway side to side, almost like, I don't want to say like a monkey, because I don't think they do this, but we're just swaying side to side in this deep squat. And centering yourselves. And pushing back up into that forward fold. You have something. And deep squat again. Your feet will naturally want to turn out, and that is totally okay too. We do, however, want to keep our heels on the ground. And lift those hips again. And squatting down. We're going to stay down here. Our elbows are going to find our knees, and it's going to go on either side in the inside of our legs, pushing outwards. I do tend to rock back and forth where my heel will come off the ground, just to give my ankles a little bit more of a stretch. Alright friends, bracing our ground on the floor, we're going to come all the way down into our figure 4 stretch. So I'm going to start off with my right leg. My right leg is going to bend. My ankle is going to come right above my left knee, and I'm going to roll out my ankle in one direction. And rolling out in the opposite direction. And beautiful job. Placing that foot all the way down on the ground. Rotate so your left arm is on the right shoulder. And push and look over your back right shoulder. And slowly start to turn and unwind. Your left leg is going to come up and go over your right knee with your left ankle, rolling out that foot in one direction. And in the opposite direction. And replacing that foot all the way down and turning to the left, looking over your left shoulder, your right arm and your left leg connect. job. We're slowly going to start to unwind. We are going to go into our warm-ups real quick. So what we are going to do to get our lower body a little bit more warm and pumped before we, go into more of a deep stretch, we are going to do a quick couple things. So we are going to start off with 10 squats, 10 heel lifts on each side, and I'm going to demonstrate these for you, and then we're going to point through our first position. So it is a little bit of ballet as well, because ballerina ankles are hecka strong, and the warm-ups for those are going to be good for you guys as well. So let's start off with the simple ones that we already know. Let's do our 10 squats. I'm going to be coming all the way back up. My feet are a little bit bigger than shoulder width distance apart. I'm going to be pressing down through my heels and coming up above my toes. So I'm going to be pushing down, squat, all on your own pace. Beautiful job. We are going to go into our second position. So for my ballerina folk, second position is what we already know. For our mainan, we are just going to turn out those toes. From that squat, we're going to point our toes out and almost trying to get a straight line, but to where you feel balance. If you're in a straight line and you're wobbling all over the place, don't be in a straight line. We'll work our way there. But we are going to be here in our second position. We're going to take a deep squat, so our knees are going to come out and our hips are going to be open. We are going to do heel lifts. So what I mean by that is from our flat foot, I'm going to releve. I'm going to lift my heel off. So I'm just going to be on the ball of my toes, so my heel lifts up. We're going to do 10 of those on each side. Sound good? Cool, awesome. Find your balance and heel lifts. Your squat shouldn't be moving, your hips should stay still. The only thing that should be moving is that heel up. Beautiful job, and 10 on the opposite side. Beautiful job. Ooh, the inside of my legs are on fire. Awesome, so we are going to go through our point throughs. So what I mean by that is we are going to be in our first position, or we are going to turn our toes out to the side, not directly in front of us. So my feet kind of make this little V position. We are going to do this on each side, but we are going to point through our legs and point to the front, to the side, and behind us as well. So what that's going to be is when I'm going to point through to the front, my right leg I'm going to start off with. I'm going to point that toe forward till my leg is in full extension, and then I'm going to bring it back to meet the other heel. I'm going to do 8 of those point forwards, 8 of the side where we're just going directly out to point to the side and back in, and then 8 to the back. So what I mean by that is when I find my balance, my foot is going to push through its heel and point behind me and bringing it back to meet that. So we're going to go 8 forward, 8 to the side, 8 behind, 8 to the side. Then we're going to half it. So we're going to do 4 in the front, 4 to the side, 4 behind us, 4 to the side, and then we're going to half that again. Then 2, 2, 2, 2, until we are down to 1. And we're going to do those on both sides. It's going to be great. Awesome. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with my right side. I'm going to count it out so you guys can feel at least a beat or a rhythm, and you guys can copy me as well. I usually do this over music, but since copyright is a thing, you can just play this back with music on your own time or incorporate it into your own music. All right, for your hands, what to do with your arms, you can either have them here on your hips, You can hold them in your first position if you have done ballet before. It also gives your shoulders quite the workout as well. But if you don't know what to do with your hands, keep them on your hips. Don't let them just slouch, because then everything else starts to slouch. We are going to be right. Cool. Yes, Coach Relove?
If you have really bad balance like me, is it okay that you grab a wall with the leg you're not doing?
You can grab the wall if you would like. I would prefer you not. If your feet are all the way flat and you're wobbling like you need the wall, then make your feet less flat and bring those toes inward. I don't want you to be so unstable that you need to grab the wall. So find your balance. Cool. Awesome. Starting off with our 8 counts to the front. And point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And for the front, 1, 2, 3, 4. For the side, 1, 2, 3, 4. And back, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 2 front, side, back, side. Now down to 1. 1 to the front, 1 to the side, 1 to the back, 1 to the side. Hoo-ah! You surprisingly feel it in your left ankle, not your right, because you are bearing most of your weight while you're pointing through. Good job, friends. We are now going to do our opposite side, so our left side down. If you want to wiggle at your legs, like, oh my gosh, that was tough. I've never done that before. Totally fine. Excuse me. Finding your first position whenever you're ready. We're going to do the same thing on our left side now. So our left is pointing in the front, to the side, to the back, and to the side again. For the left, I am going to go at a profile so you guys can see where everything is kind of going. All right. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4 behind. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4 twos. 1, 2, side and back and side and ones. 1, 1, 1, and 1. Beautiful job, friends. Let's go grab our drink of water. I will meet you back over here on the floor. We do not need our wallet or our ball just yet. Grab a drink of water, though. See you in a bit. We are coming back. Hello, hello. I got out my yoga mat because I'm going to need a little bit of traction in this next part. If you have shoes on and you're outside, you'll be totally fine. You might want to find some cushion for your hand or something like that. But if you feel like you're not going to slide or whatever on hardwood or anything like that, it is totally optional for the yoga mat. I am going to take off my jacket as well just because I am starting to warm up a little bit. Woo! Alright, so we are going to be standing in the center of our mat or the center of our placement, and we are going to go into our forward fold. I'm going to stand off to the side so you guys get a profile. So coming into our forward fold, we're going to breathe in through our nose and exhale, come all the way down. See where your hands are finding the mat. See where everything feels comfortable for you. We're going to give slight bends in our legs right now. So right now they're locked out, but just slight bend forward till it touches your arms, and then push your hips back up where those knees to lock out. We're going to do just little squats here. Remember to breathe. Coming back into those locked out knees, one leg is going to be bent, one leg is going to be straight. So I'm going to bend my left leg, my right leg is going to be almost pushed back. Remember to breathe. And switch those legs, left leg straight, right leg bent. And both legs straight. We're going to come into a super tucked position. So my fingertips are actually going to come to the mat. I'm going to bend my knees forward. My heels are naturally going to lift up. And I'm going to be sitting back on my heels. My fingertips are still touching the ground. I'm only hanging out here for just a split second. And I am going to push through those heels. Trying to get my heels to touch the ground so I can feel that stretch in the front of my ankle, as well as my Achilles. So, my fingertips are on the ground. I'm going to push those hips back up. Try and keep your heels off the ground as much as you can. Toes are still up. Heels are even higher. And rest those heels back on the mat. And coming into that tuck position again. All the way down. Heels are the last thing to lift. And we're going to come and push those hips up. Heels are still up, toes are on the ground. And bring it all the way back onto the mat. Beautiful job, Burns. We are going to walk out into our plank position. So my hands are going to come to the top of my mat. And my feet are going to come to the bottom of my mat. We're going to be here in our plank position. For those who have some wrist issues or can't support their weight on their wrist as much, or kind of becomes difficult, you can take this with a forearm plank. So instead of being on your hands are straight out and flat, and your elbows and forearms are on the ground. So you can be right here as well. Obviously your knees won't be here or on the ground, but if you ever need to take that modification or take a break, you can rest your knees in between, but keep your core engaged. So being in your plank position, whichever one you choose, right here. Make sure your hips aren't all the way up. We're not in downward dog yet. Hips and torso are aligned. Your heels are going to push forwards towards your hands and push back to heel drive the other side of the room. We're just going to do these pushbacks here, almost like our calf raises. Remember that your core is engaged. Beautiful job. Hold out that plank. We're going to come all the way down, belly on the ground, and our hands are underneath our shoulders. I'm going to rotate my shoulders back, and I'm going to push my hands up into my seal stretch. My head's going to float all the way up, looking towards the ceiling. Give our back a nice little stretch. Breathing through. Looking over towards my left foot, slight turn, and looking towards my right, slight turn. Oh, hi, Linda. You're asleep. Looking straight ahead, and I'm push my way into my downward dog. So my toes are gonna tuck underneath me. I'm gonna push my hips back, and my heels are going to try and be on the ground as much as possible. It's totally okay if they are not, but we're gonna pedal out our feet right here. So I'm bending one leg and straightening out the other. Walking it out is what they call it. And let's take a deep stretch over to our right heel's down into the ground. Our left leg is bent. We're going to breathe here for a couple seconds. Beautiful job. And switch to the opposite side. Left heel is driving into the ground, right leg is bent. And both heels towards the ground. Beautiful job. Knees coming to the ground. Come back into your child's pose. Walk your hands over to the left. Stretching out the side. Walk your hands over to the right.
Excuse me.
And back towards the center. We're going to find our way back into downward dog, so wherever your hands are, make sure your toes are tucked under, and push those hips up. And walk out those feet. And right foot's going to find its center in between my hands, still straight behind me. My left leg's going to come up in three-legged split. And left foot's coming down to replace the right. Right leg is now going to point up and other side split. Beautiful job. Coming back down. We're going to come back down to our hands and our knees. I'm going to fix my shirt real quick. Hands and knees. We're going to walk through our cat-cows just to give our spines a little bit of attention as well. So coming into your cow, arch the back, looking up towards the ceiling, press down those shoulders, and cow, round out that spine. Or cat. And flow back and forth into this. Good job, friends. So before we get up, I'm going to tuck my toes underneath my feet. And I'm going to sit back down on my heels. So I'm going to feel that great stretch through the bottom of my feet. If you want right here, just because we did put a lot of weight on our hands, we can roll out our wrists a little bit. Give them some attention as well. You should start to feel the burn in those toes, and that's totally okay. Couple more seconds here. All right, in a little bit I'm going to come down and I'm actually going to come forward. So don't just deflate your feet. We're going to come to our hands straight forward. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming forward, lift those toes up. Woo! They should be a little delicate. If you need to, you can tap the tops of your feet on the mat. Give a little attention. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, friends, let's go grab a drink of water, and I will meet you back onto our wall. Alright, so we are going to come to our wall. I'm going to use my fitness pole as my wall today. If you want, you can totally bring your mat over, but you definitely don't need it. I'm not really going to be using it, so I'm just going to leave it right here. So coming to our wall, so the first thing with our ankle stretches that we are going to do is we are going to go through the arch in the foot. So just what we did is we sat on our heels and we felt that through the pad of our foot and into the middle of our foot. We are going to do almost a less intense version standing, but we're also going to relieve that stretch as well. So I'm going to be actually pushing against my wall. I'm not really going to be using it for balance, but to make sure that I'm getting enough force pushed into my arch. So I'm going to do both sides, obviously, but I'm going to start off with my left side because it is my least practice side. So my left leg, I'm going to brace my hands on the wall. My right foot's coming forward. My left leg is going to be on its toes and it's going to be behind me. I'm going to give a bend to both of my legs. I don't even need that big of a bend. I just feel it ever so slight bend, and I already feel it within my feet. It's a great stretch. So the wall here is also to make sure that you have your posture. We don't want to slouch over and just be not using this stretch to our full extent. Sit up with a straight spine, coming through the top of your head. See if you can challenge yourself to deepen out that stretch. We're holding it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. Coming out of that, the top of our foot is now going to be on the ground, and we're going to be pressing into the top of that foot. Hands still on the wall, but pressing, trying to get the top of the foot to almost to lay flat against the ground. I'm going to bend my front leg and that back leg just to deepen out and lengthen that stretch through my foot. And straightening out those legs, shake out that left leg and that left foot. We're going to do it on our opposite side, or I'm going to do it on my right side. So my right leg is going to come back, balls of my toes and pad of my toes are on the ground, and bending both those legs. Beautiful job. Straightening up and reverse that so the top of the foot is now on the ground and bending those legs. Okay, beautiful job. Woo. We are now going to place our foot against the wall, but we're actually going to put it on the bottom. So we're not going to stick it straight out in front of us. No, just at the bottom of the wall, bracing with your same-sided hand on the wall. Our foot, or the bottom of our foot, is going to try and be on the wall on the bottom as much as possible, almost to get our heel and our foot on the wall. We know that's super, super challenging, but we want to push into this stretch. So once your pad of your toe and your toes are on the wall, you want to push in with a straight leg. We're going to bend it in just a second, but I still want you to feel that straight leg and give it that slight bend. Ooh. It should intensify, but also at the same time feel in a different part of your foot. I actually feel it more in my calf and in my ankle. And slowly start to come off of that. Replace that foot on the wall with the opposite side. And lean straight leg in. And bend that knee forward. Beautiful job, and shake out that foot. All right, I'm now going to be using the wall just for balance. I am going to roll out my ankle and my foot a little bit more intensely. I'm going to start off with my left leg first. So my right leg is back, my left leg is forward, and I'm leaning forward, and I'm going to roll out the ankle in one direction. I don't really need the wall here for balance, but it does give me the opportunity to use more of my weight into my stretch. Let's do 3 more of these. And opposite direction. All right, beautiful. And we're going to do our right leg. So right foot's now in front, left's behind. And one direction, rolling out that ankle. And rolling out opposite side. Beautiful job, friends. We are now going to grab our ball, our yoga ball, not our yoga ball, our golf ball, our softball, our lacrosse ball. A small ball is what we're going to be doing. You are still going to use that wall if you need it, or if you want to grab a couch or a table, anything to help keep you balanced. That's what we're going to do. We are going to place that ball on the ground, and we're just going to roll through our feet from heel to our toes. What you're trying to find is intense spots or places where it's like, that I can feel that there's something there preventing me from getting my actual stretch. And you kind of want to hang out in that area. So right now for me, I wear a lot of heels, so I definitely feel it around like my pinky toe pad is where I feel, where I put a lot of my weight and pressure on. So I hang out here a lot, and then I'm trying to roll through it to get into the middle in that outer blade area. So you want to spend like a good minute and a half here, rolling through your feet. Everyone's foot is different. So if you're like, I super need it in the inside of my foot, or the pad of my toes, or the pad of my foot is super intense, and don't ever forget to pay attention to your heel. A lot of your weight is kind of centered on your heel, and we don't really pay attention to it as much as we should. We're here for a little bit longer. Slowly roll through that foot. This isn't supposed to be a fast stretch. Beautiful job, friends. When you feel like you are ready, you are going to switch over to the opposite foot. Ooh, you might feel that it's your good side, your bad side, and it's like, everything is wrong with this foot, and that's okay. Just remember, you want to go as slow as possible. Want to massage out through your kinks. This is a good stretch to do in the morning and in the evening as well. Morning, just to get your foot awake and your knuckles and your toesies awake, and then at night, just to de-stress and decompress from walking around and carrying your weight all day. It's a fun time. Alright, friends, couple more seconds here. Don't forget that outer blade. And that heel. Alright, friends, beautiful job. If you need to get a drink of water, you totally can. We are going to be coming down into the cooldown stretches of our mat. I personally don't need a drink of water just because the last couple things we've been doing have been not so intensive. So if you want to grab a drink of water, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to come to a seated position on my mat though. I'm going to make sure that all of my things are out of the way so I don't roll onto anything or trip over anything. It's always a fun time. Alright, that should have given you enough time to grab a drink of water. But you're going to come down into a crisscross applesauce. My feet and my shins are going to actually be in front of each other. They're not going to be overlapping or on top of each other, but in front of each other. Our hands are going to be placed on our knees. We're going to sit up with a straight spine, and we're just going to close our eyes, breathe through our nose, out through our mouth. Beautiful job. We're slowly going to lean ever so slightly forward, trying to get down with a flat back or wherever feels comfortable for you. Beautiful job. Slowly start to walk those hands back up. We're going to replace whatever leg was in front. So my left leg is now going to come in front. My right leg is going to come behind. And I'm going to come straight, flat, down again. Slowly start to come up. Beautiful job, friends. We're going to come to an up and over onto our right side. So my right arm is going to come down to the ground as well as my elbow. And my left arm is going to be on top. I'm still grounding my sits bones to the ground, so I'm not lifting up completely. Using that top arm to push me up and pull me up and push me over to the opposite side. Right arm's on top, left arm should be on the ground. And top arm is going to come back up. And wiggling your legs out into your pike position. Just going to wiggle them right here. We're going to come through with our points and our flexes. So in our pike position, I'm leaning back on my arms. I'm going to point through my toes in this pike. And I'm going to flex. Through and flex and pointing through again and flex. I'm going to point out my left foot and then I'm going to rotate my right ankle in one direction and the opposite direction. I'm going to point out my right foot. I'm going to rotate my left ankle and the opposite direction. Good job, friends. I'm going to bring my right leg over my left into our figure four, and I'm going to rotate out the ankle one last time. You guys were here before. Everything should feel less crackly and less poppy in your ankle, and opposite direction. Beautiful job. We're going to switch our feet. So my left is now going to come over my right, rolling out in one direction. And the opposite. All right. Beautiful job. Alright friends, well I hope you had a nice time. This one, AcroFlex is a little bit different. It was mostly us recovering our bodies while we do have a lot of time to stay at home. We don't want to get our bodies too stiff. We do want to keep our joints moving and everything, take a quick walk around your house or your apartment or wherever you live. Talk to someone, ask someone how their day is. We are all in this together, and we are all staying home until it is safe and until everyone is safe. So please do your part, and we shall see you guys soon. We will let you guys know when our facilities open back up, but until then, we'll see you next time.